But the Kenyans will, of course, be favourites. The winner for 15 successive years from 1986, and that's their team. Ivuti, Kamathi, Correa, Kosgei, Richard Limo and Mitai. Terrific team. The Portuguese, strong as always, headed by the European champion, 4 times European champion, Paulo Guerra there, number 406. Dornelas also likely to be prominent, and indeed Domingos Castro, the world silver medalist at 5,000 metres, right back in 1987. Now the Kenyans have been so dominant in recent years, 15 successive wins. The Ethiopians, of course, the winners the 5 years before then, back in the 1980s. It was Kenya, Ethiopia, Portugal, the 1, 2, 3, in both 1999 and 2000, and the familiar sight of the Kenyans. 3.26, Enoch Mitai, the newcomer to their team, just ahead of 3.25, Richard Limo. 3.22, Paul Kosgei, the former world junior recorder of the steeplechase. They're moving up to the longer distances. He's previously won the run in the 4K these championships before. 3.24, 3.26 rather, Mitai. Kenyans always running as a team. They often send one of their less experienced members to just take the pace out, and that may well be the job assigned to Mitai this time. But there's Morit, number 55, prominent, the man who won last year, having previously been 7th, 8th and 5th. World Championship bronze medalist, of course, at 5,000 metres on the track, and recently the world indoor silver medalist at 3,000 metres, to show he's in great form. As we look down the massed ranks of 170 starters in this long course race. Kenya very much prominent in the early stages. A lot of Europeans though up there, which is encouraging, because they didn't do very well in the short course race. The Spaniards were 155. Alberto Garcia there in the centre of the screen, he's prominent. He was 3rd in the world indoor 3,000 metres, so a number of the finalists there running again over the country. 3.13 right on the left of the screen, that's Charles Kamathi. Well, what a great race he had against Mohamed Morit when he first emerged on the scene 2 years ago at 10,000 metres in Brussels, when Kamathi astonished Morit by beating him. Morit set a European record that day. Good to see Bob Kennedy there, the American, the bearded man, coming back. He missed a lot of last year through injury, but really running very prominently indeed. That's the American record holder at 3,000 metres and 5,000 metres. Americans having a good championships here, with Witzenheim taking the bronze in the junior race. It's Morit, number 55, in the lead. The rest of the Kenyans, Richard Limo, 3.25, former Commonwealth bronze medalist at 5,000 metres. 3.22, just behind Morit is Paul Kosgei. He must be one of the favourites, 2nd in the Kenyan trials. The Kenyans, of course, missing Paul Tergat this year. He was 3rd in their trials, but has decided to, for once, forsake the cross-country, at which he's been world champion 5 times, in order to concentrate on preparing for his marathon debut in London in a month's time. 3.13, Kamathi. 3.22, Kosgei with Morit. And number 200, he's prominent, the Frenchman, Driss El Hima, 3rd in the European Championships last year. And indeed, there's a lot of prominent Europeans up there. Sergei Lebed of the Ukraine, 2nd in the European Championships, former winner of that race. He wears 5.13. He's going well. Well, the Europeans had a disastrous race in the short course championships, when their best placer was 20th, and indeed in the junior men's they had to go right the way back to 35th place to find the first European. But there are quite a lot prominent in that leading group, and also one man from South America there, with Cilio of Argentina, who wears number 22. Ethiopians not so prominent at the moment, slightly surprisingly. You've got Ad Masu wearing 180. It's their leading placer at present. But it's still fairly early stages in this 12-kilometre race at present. 3.13, Kamathi. 3.12, that's Patrick Ivuti. Ivuti was 4th last year. was third in the recent Kenyan Armed Force Championships, but Guerra of Portugal also running very well, the fair-haired man wearing 4:06. And some of the Kenyans tracking back a bit, slightly surprisingly. 3:26, Mitai we just saw going through there. But three of them prominent at the head of affairs. 3:13, Kamathi. 3:22, Kosgei. 3:12, Ivuti. Further down, 5:29, Kefsazigi for the Americans. Americans packing well with Kennedy and Kefsazigi and Abdirahman, number 5:16. So they must be in contention for a team medal. So Kamathi now in the lead. Then Morit. Then 3:12, just putting his hand out there. That's Ivuti. Paulo Guerra, 4:06 on the inside. Elhima, the Frenchman, wearing 200. Lebed of the Ukraine, wearing 3:13, just behind that leading group. 4:10, Helder Ornelas of Portugal. He, like Guerra, running really well and packing well for the Portuguese team, who were the bronze medalists on the last two occasions that these championships have been run. Championships often vary in conditions. Sometimes we get very flat, hard conditions over horse race tracks. Well, this is a horse race track, but it's muddy here in Ostend in Belgium. The championships, of course, which had to be diverted here at very short notice, originally due to be held in Dublin, Ireland, cancelled because of the foot and mouth crisis, and the championships have been awarded to Dublin next year. They were first switched to Brussels in Belgium, but then with the realization that there was much more hotel accommodation in Ostend, the seaside holiday resort, and they were switched here. Belgian championships were held here a week ago, and now they're doing an excellent job of staging these World Cross-Country Championships. It's the leading group of the three Kenyans, with Mohit of Belgium, and the hopes of the crowd very much on for him to repeat the win that he gained last year. Elhima of France in the blue, Ornelas of Portugal and Guerra of Portugal up there in the leading group. Looking back down, 5:29, that's Keflazigi of the USA we're seeing again. Once again, the Americans running well. Stefko of Slovakia also up there, wearing 4:41, and another Frenchman, Mustafa Al-Hamadi, in that leading group. Mustafa Al-Hamadi wearing 1:99. But Morit it is who takes up the running. A long way still to go, but it's stretching them. Kamathi there, 3:13. Then the Portuguese, Guerra and Ornelas. And then Lebed. Lebed's got a good race record, I must say. The 25-year-old Ukrainian. Terrific series of wins this season in Valladolid and in Seville and in Fuensalida. Quite interesting, many of these men actually ran in the recent 5 Mills race. Well, the order on that occasion was Kamathi, Lebed, Morit and Guerra. And then going back to muddy conditions in Seville, it was Kamathi, Lebed, Guerra and Morit. But this time Morit seems to be likely to finish a little higher up. 1:57, Alejandro Gomez of Spain, running in around 10th place. But now, slipping in these tricky conditions, it's Morit in the lead. Morit wanting to strike for home from Paul Kosgei. Morit it is, opening up perhaps a bit of a gap here. Terrific support there'll be from the home crowd. Mohamed Morit, who overcame the teamwork of the Kenyans to win in 2000, and now looks like he may well be heading for a repeat victory here in Ostend. He's certainly stretching away now, Morit, from Kosgei, who seems to be spent. Morit opening up more and more of a gap, and Kosgei looks back over his shoulder. Very different conditions from when Morit ran in Vila Moura in Portugal a year ago. But now stretching away. There's still a long way to go in this race, but Morit has opened up a significant gap. Interesting that he should want to and feel good enough to strike for home so early in this race. Still a couple of kilometers to go. With looking back, it's Kosgei, then the Frenchman Elhima. Just behind him, another Kenyan, Ivuti. And the crowd building excitement as they can see Morit out on his own. The next group of 6 or 7 men, though pretty closely bunched. Morit goes through, just a lap to go. Here's Kosgei. Guerra running well, just behind El Hima, with the other two Kenyans still up there. Ivuti wearing 312, Kamathi 313. Ivuti now a little bit more prominent, has moved into second place. Lebed at the back there in the blue and yellow of Ukraine, still trying to stick with them. Then Ornelas of Portugal in 8th place. There's Morit, lovely shot of a man spattered with mud but running strongly. Lebed here, he's just lost a little bit of ground, back in 7th place. Ornelas in 8th. Gomez in 9th behind them. Morit, not far to go now, just checks round to see how he's going, and the answer is that he's got a good lead on the chasing pack. That's a lap runner. Look at that gap. There we are, there's the next group. Guerra now has moved into second place, just ahead of Kamathi. So the Moroccan-born, now Belgian citizen, Mohamed Morit, on home soil in Ostend, strikes out for the finish. The winner in Portugal, in Vila Moura in the year 2000. And now, surely, the winner in Ostend in Belgium, the IAF long race world champion for the 2nd year in a row, Mohamed Morit, silver medalist on the track indoors at 3,000 metres, bronze medalist at 5,000 metres outdoors 2 years ago, and now for the 2nd time, world cross-country champion. Mohamed Morit winning for Belgium. And what a battle there is behind him for the runners-up race. And Lebed has come all the way through the field. He looked tailed off at one time. He comes through for 2nd. Kamathi takes 3rd. Paulo Guerra for Portugal is 4th. Then Paul Kosgei of Kenya. Dressel Hima of France just pattering across the line. Just ahead of Patrick Ivuti of Kenya. 3 Kenyans already in. Then Ornelas of Portugal. But up front, it was Mohamed Morit. Quite a battle then for the lesser places. El Hamadi of France just ahead of Bob Kennedy of the USA, looking back for the 4th Kenyan. There he comes now, in fact. I think it may be enough to take them to the team victory. Enoch Mitai finishing in 18th place. As Morit, we look back and seeing him blow kisses to the crowd as he is once again world cross-country champion. And the IAF president, Lamine Diak, is there shaking his hand first. Morit now takes the flowers as the IAF World Cross Country Champion. And a wonderful run by Sergei Lebed for the Ukraine in 2nd place. Charles Kamathi moving up from 7th last year to 3rd this year. So what a way to end these mud-spattered championships in Ostend in Belgium, but a triumph for classy running as epitomised here by Mohamed Morit of Belgium.